Chad, let's talk about what's next for Georgia recruiting. Well, what's next? Nick Abrams just made his announcement. He is a dog picking Georgia over Michigan, Alabama, Oregon, and it comes at a really good time for Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a tough Tuesday, but a big win on Wednesday for Georgia with Nick Abrams. I mean, obviously Atkinson, James Johnson, two tough blows for Georgia. They rebound pretty quickly here with a big commitment. And I would say even bigger than people may think for Georgia. I can say that they love Nick Abrams and kind of what he brings to the table from on the field, off the field, his high football IQ, where he comes from a top program up in Maryland, McDonough football. Great size, great length, athletic. So big win for Georgia here and in a great way for Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, that program to rebound from that tough loss on Tuesday.
So now Georgia also had another departure from their class on Tuesday. James J.J. Johnson, one of the top defensive linemen in America, flipped that commitment from Georgia to Texas. So how does UGA rebuild this defensive line class?
Well, I think they hope to maybe lose one and add two. I think obviously Valdensson from Sweden plays up in Connecticut area, up the East Coast here in the United States. But he's over in Sweden right now with his people working to make this decision. And right now, Georgia is trending for that one. And at different times, it's been Florida, Auburn, Nebraska, different schools in play. But he came into Georgia, worked out over the summer, shot up their board quickly, became a top target for Georgia, and Trey Scott on the defensive line. I like where Georgia sits there. And then also a kid that's not talked about a whole lot is Anthony Lunnan, right there at Clark Central High School, just miles away from the University of Georgia campus. His dad played at the University of Georgia. We think he makes a decision before the season starts in August at some point. NC State, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, and Georgia are the schools. If Georgia pushes there, which I think they are more than people think, they have a great shot there to respond as well.
All right, a couple other players I want to talk to you about. Let's head down to IMG Academy, where offensive lineman Brett Colajay is located. And this recruitment, it's been heating up for the Dogs, hasn't it?
Yeah, Georgia's always been, in the top group of schools for Brett Colajay. I think Georgia has a great offensive line class right now, and if they hold with that, it's one of the best in the country. If they add Brett, it could be the best in the country, and I think he's really the only guy they would take to add in this class if you're George and Stacey Searles there. And Brett, I think, is Miami, obviously, is a huge competitor. I think USC made a huge push on the OV late in June. And Oklahoma is trying to hang around here too. But I think that the lead three are Miami, Georgia, and USC. At different times, Breck has talked about committing late in the process, closer to signing day, maybe mid-season in the fall. But I think now there's some talks about him moving that up, a month or two, maybe committing sometime in August. So, look, Georgia's pushing hard here for Brett Colajay. They're very much a school to watch there.
How much of a priority, the last recruit I want to ask you about, how much of a priority is linebacker Isaiah Williams? He's from Leesburg, Florida. He's on his fifth commitment. He's currently committed to Ole Miss. Yes, Ole Miss is his fifth destination, maybe not his last, probably not his last. How big of a priority is linebacker Isaiah Williams for Georgia?
Yeah, I think he probably moves to the top guy now, obviously, with them having Shadarius Tootle, flipping him from Auburn earlier, adding Nick Abrams, like you said today, losing out on Tyler Atkinson. They've always wanted to sign three linebackers for that room this cycle. So I think Williams is the guy. Could other guys emerge this fall? Potentially, yes. But I think the one we know right now heading into the season to watch is Isaiah Williams. But like you said, he's a wild card, Josh. I mean, Georgia loves what he brings to the table on the field, from athleticism to violence to playing fast to playing physical. He had an OV to Athens. The communication has stayed consistent with the Georgia staff there. But like you said, he's been Louisville, Syracuse, Florida State, Florida, now Ole Miss. With this race, all you want to be is the last school standing for Isaiah Williams. Will that be commitment number 6, 7, 8? Can Ole Miss make him hold here until December? They have a fight on their hands, and Georgia wants to put up a pretty big one here.
All right, Georgia fans, talk to us. The Dogs were one of the hottest recruiting teams in May, in June, really in July as well, but tripped up a little in mid-July. But how are we feeling about Georgia recruiting heading into the fall? Let us know. Comment section below.